Hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Thomas Spencer. I'm going to be presenting alongside with Xavier Ruffin and Chatao Fatiao. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. We were going to do a comparison on Charles Hamilton Houston and Thurgood Marshall and their insignificance in the United States.
Hello guys, my name is Babatunde Shitu and today we are going to talk to you about one of the greatest civil rights activists, and his name is Thurgood Marshall, born in 1908 in Baltimore. And when I read about it, he recently died in 1993, but his legacy is so beautiful to read, and he is the most influential lawyer in modern American history. And he was attorney of NAACP, like a National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. He was attorney of like he helped black community of people to succeed their case with the segregation and anything like that. And also he fought social segregation in school and the public life. Hello guys, it's me again, Shito. On these slides, we are going to talk to you about Marshall major achievement. The first one we have is he defends Brown v. Board of Education in 1994. Whatever happened, the cases, and they have to build the case and to present the case in front of the judges. And he was a good defender at that time. Ended legal segregation in public school. Pretty much, we all know about Jim Crow law. Uh, you have to separate black from white in the buses or in the classroom. And also, he won 29 out of 32 Supreme Court cases. That's good. And known for powerful evidence-based legal strategy. Hello guys, it's me again. In this slide, we are going to present to you the legal impact. Marshall was able to expand the meaning of equality in the Constitution. Had to go deep explaining this is how we are equal. I mean, God didn't create human beings based on the color. No, we all equal. We share same blood. On the top of that, he used the law to protect civil rights of African American, strengthen the legal foundation of the civil rights movement. Whenever it happened that time, they all had to get together to protest. And he also had to explain to people it had to be like civil, it has to be peaceful protest. Don't go down and break with things for people. Don't do anything illegal. Like, no, we are we are going to get together and protest, show people and show white people in that era this is what you guys are doing. It's not good. We are equal. This is why we are protesting. Like, you better acknowledge, otherwise more thing will happen. And he turned Shaw Hamilton Houston strategy into real courtroom victory. When I read about it, Shaw Hamilton also was a lawyer. He's a lawyer, so both of them get together, and whenever Shaw wrote down, Marshall had to use it. I think all of them, all both together, were succeed in many cases to help black people to stop slavery, something like that. Thank you. Hello guys, it's me again, Shito. In this slide, we are going to talk to you about the strategy and an approach, how our civil rights activists approach the case, or how he approached the problem. He used the social science research to prove harm of segregation. I mean, the data is there, and whatever he has to do is to go in deep and do more research. How many black people have been harmed? How many people? How many people have been not being treated right? And all those stuff. On the top of the carefully built cases, step by step. He doesn't rush or nothing. Take angle by angle and put them together step by step. This is how he built the cases. Work with the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement Colored People. No matter who you are, I mean, pretty much dominant with the black people, but it is what it is. He worked with them in that time and also forced the Supreme Court to recognize inequality. Meaning, like, you put me in school and I learn a lot of stuff now. Now I can read English, I can understand it, I can even dream in English. So, what's the point? If you can recognize, like, you are treating me bad, which is not good. So, I think he did a great job. We all thank him today about everything they have done, all the civil rights in the past. They have done a lot for us. Thank you so much.
Okay, so Charles Hamilton Houston was one of the most important civil rights attorneys in American history. He was born in 1895 in Washington, D.C., and then he later became one of the first black editors of the Harvard Law Review. His experience serving in a segregated military during World War I was really how he shaped his mission to fight racism through the law. Because of his work, people tend to have called him the man who killed Jim Crow. Moving on. So, one of the biggest parts about Houston's legacy is the work that he did at Howard University School of Law, where he became the vice dean and he transferred the school into a training ground for civil rights attorneys. He believed that he believed that lawyers had a duty to act as what he called social engineers. Um, he believed that they were the key to redesigning society to become more fair and equal. This is also where he began to mentor Thurgood Marshall, who would later become one of the most famous civil rights lawyers of all time. As you see right there, the man who killed Jim Crow. Houston's work allowed him to win important cases like Murray v. Pearson in 1936, which desegregated the University of Maryland Law School. Even though he passed away from before Brown v. Board of Education, he actually created the foundation for it. So most of the arguments Marshall used in Brown v. Board were based on Houston's strategies. So even though he was not around, Houston had a major role in making everything possible. One of the most important things to understand is Charles Hamilton Houston was Thurgood Marshall's mentor. Marshall learned constitutional law, civil rights strategy, and even his courtroom style from Houston. Okay, so Marshall even said himself that Houston was the greatest lawyer he had ever met, and that everything he did came from what Houston had taught him. Houston later hired Marshall to work for the NAACP. They worked together on school segregation cases throughout the South. Sorry. Houston built a plan and Marshall ended up executing it and eventually winning the Supreme Court case that ended legal segregation in public schools, like Brown v. Board of Education.
The Dreamer and the Changer. Charles Hamilton Hudson and Thurgood Marshall both made their way for modern civil rights. Although both were extremely impactful, they pushed civil rights through different methods. Thurgood Marshall was a student of Hamilton Law and trained in Howard Law program under him. In a way, Hamilton laid the foundation for Thurgood Marshall to thrive. His students even referred to him as the man who killed Jim Crow. Hudson's role in civil rights was built from the ground up from his experiences in World War I and Harvard Law. But his position as dean of Howard Law School from 1929 to 1935 allowed him to create a long-term plan dedicated to not only exposing inequality, but training young black lawyers to identify and challenge segregation. We see examples of this with Morey versus Peterson and an important case such as Brown versus Board of Education. However, Hamilton Hamilton was not able to be there due to his death. Now let's look at them side by side. While Hamilton was the strategist to shape the long term plan, Thurgood Marshall made it a reality. Thurgood Marshall had an unbelievable record in his Supreme Court case wins, winning 19 out of 32 through the NAACP. The success of 1954 arguing for Brown versus Board of Education was the full manifestation of the dream Houston believed in. From this point on, Houston's belief became widespread and national, continuing his success. This victory paved the way for Marshall to become the first black Supreme Court justice and the first black Solicitor General. Both of these strong black men created and maintained black safety, excellence, and civil rights. Marshall shaped the United States through public victories in courts. Meanwhile, reshaped the legal landscape at an institutional level.